Hey everybody, today I have an amazing guest. It's the beautiful and talented Ricki Lake. And recently in January of this year, she came out with her own story and struggle with hair loss that she's been dealing with for close to 30 years. And I am beyond honored to have her here with us today on the show. So I want to welcome her. Welcome, Ricki.
Great to see you. I'm very happy to talk to you. Yeah, this feels like a long time coming. You know, we go back a long time, and I'm really just happy to share my story with you.
It's when you came out in January, I was mind blown. I was like on the couch when I got your text message and with the shaved head, and it was just something that was I was like not expecting that at all, and I was just like, holy balls! Like you did it! Like you did what I consider to be the impossible, like for myself, you know, and what I consider to be still the holy grail of freedom for my own hair loss is being able to take back full control and shave it, to liberate yourself and do something like that. I had like tears in my eyes, and I was just so proud of you and inspired by you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, you know, and you know, I'd love to tell your, you know, your listeners and fans, you know, what our relationship was, you know, because I've known you, mm-hmm. I guess maybe 7 years, would you say?
Actually, I looked it up because I was curious. It was October 2012.
Okay, that sounds about right. October 2012. And so at that point in my life, you know, I was newly in love. I just got married. I was married to my husband, Christian, and I was going through a shedding period. So I had struggled with hair loss, you know, secretly for 20 something years after I did a movie called, I did a hairspray when I was 18. And so with that movie, they took I had like basically Jufro hair, you know, I don't mean to offend.
And that was
people.
All your hair, by the way, right? That was all your hair.
In the original movie, that was all my hair. That they not only did he peroxide my hair, he peroxided half of it. When I say he didn't do it, but they did it for the movie. They wanted the two-tone, and so it basically ruined my hair from that point on. It never was the same. And I was fine with it because I had so much hair, you know, it was a non-issue. And it was probably shortly after that time that I became sexually active and I went on birth control. So, you know, it was those factors. And then, you know, I started dieting, obsessively dieting. So it was like when I made a movie called Crybaby, and it was after that I couldn't get hired. And I was, you know, 260 pounds. I was like this really, really obese young woman who couldn't get a job. And I went on a crash diet for 6 months. I basically didn't eat very much, and I overexercised, and I lost over 100 pounds. But in doing that, you know, when you do that to your body, you mess with your hormones. And for me, you know, the way my body reacted to extreme weight fluctuations was by my hair falling out. And again, I had a lot of hair back then. I had a ton of hair. So it really wasn't something I even noticed. You know, I continued to work as an actress, and, you know, I didn't have the anxiety that I had since had after that of like them teasing my hair or curling it or even touching my head. You know, I became really, really, really self-conscious later. And so it was when I made a movie called Mrs. Winterbourne when I was 25 or 26.
How many years after your hair loss started was that movie?
That movie, okay, so I did Hairspray when I was 18 in 1987 and dealt with that, the shock of dyeing my hair and teasing my hair like that and doing all that. And then, you know, it was probably 8 years later that I did Mrs. Winterbourne. And again, they put me on a diet, you know, I wasn't even fat. I mean, it's just, I look back on it, I was probably 145, 150 pounds, but they wanted me to. And so they put me on this diet. I remember they put a treadmill in my rental house, and they would,
oh my God,
the producer would ask me, you know, how much did you work out? What is your weight? You know, it was all this. So anyway, that experience, I did lose a lot of weight on that for that film. And then it was 3 months after. It was always 3 months after.
That seems to be the magic number, 3 months.
Mm-hmm. And then my hair started, and that was like the first time it dramatically shed, where I was freaking out. I was a mess. I was doing my talk show at that time, and I was I didn't know what to do. And I found Philip Kingsley, which is, you know, do you know, Philip Kingsley is they have a salon and they deal with hair loss issues and hair issues, you know, so they do scalp treatments and they have their protocols. And I went there and I remember getting a consultation with that guy, with Philip, the old man, and me sitting there crying. I mean, I remember I was so traumatized because, it's so shameful, and it's so, when you're a woman, and it's part of who you are, your femininity. I mean, I loved my hair. I really appreciated it. And when it was gone, and I had patches of, scalp that I could see, and I was just having to go to work and do my show every day, and they'd have to tease it and they'd have to style it. And it was just this really overwhelming, scary experience. And it did come back, I did their protocols, and there was a woman, Liz, who's still there. And I reached out to her, just like I reached out to you after I did this recently. And I want to thank you for your help and support. I reached out to her and to thank her, because she really was instrumental in helping me get through that period. So it was after that, the movie, I lost my hair then, and it come back. And then I got pregnant with my first son. Same thing. I had my baby, and your hair gets really, really thick and healthy when you're pregnant.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
It's like, it was amazing. And then after you finish breastfeeding, for me, I can only speak for me, but after
postpartum shedding, yes.
Postpartum shedding. And it was like handfuls of hair, and it's just so scary when that happens to you. And every time it would happen, it was like it was happening for the first time for me. So it happened with both of my children, having both my kids. And then, of late. Oh, so let me talk about when you and I met. So when I found your forum and your website, Women's Hair Loss Project, back in 2012. And I felt so isolated and forgive me. I'm sorry. I have a tickle in my throat. It is not, God forbid, it's not COVID-19.
I'll have a water break with you.
But I found your site, and I just I came up with a fake name, and I was like super self-conscious about being on there, and being a public figure. Yeah. And I just read stories of people and found, similarities, and I got information. And I remember reaching out to you. I found you. And I don't remember how. I mean, I could probably go back and find those exchanges, but I was probably cryptic in the beginning of saying it was me.
I actually remember exactly how you did it.
I did? Tell me.
Yeah. It was through my social network that I had attached for people to join and get connect with one another. You sent me a private message through there, and then you told me your story. It was like, I'm usually the one that writes really long things, but you sent me the story of you kind of getting to the punchline of you at the end, but your whole thing. And then you told me who you were.
Okay. And you offered to help me. I mean, what I really, really appreciate is not only did your site help me in finding other women who were going through what I was going through, but also you took it upon yourself to personally help me. You went with me to find a wig, Yep. And do you remember, was my hair loss that terrible then? Was it? It's hard to remember. I know how much I felt. I was struggling, and I was depressed about it and crying to Christian about it. But was it that bad? Because it got way, way worse.
I always feel like hair loss, women's hair loss, or what they feel is a lot or a little is so relative to what they're used to and what they know, what they're accustomed to. So what somebody sees on the exterior, like me looking at somebody else, is not indicative of anything that they're going through. So aesthetically during that time, I could tell that you for sure had less hair or thinning hair, but it didn't appear overtly oh, that's a chick that's balding. But as somebody that knows this really well, and I can see it on people on television, I can see when they're wearing hair, even when they do a good job, because when you're in it, it. You were a person that looked like you had experienced some hair loss, but not to the level where it was oh my God, that's a lot of hair loss, but that doesn't take away from anything of feeling like yourself and feeling comfortable in your own skin. And I mean, at the time, actually, you were on the air again. And so more specifically, I can't even imagine being thrown into the public eye again and doing your talk show. I don't know if it's a daily thing, but however often it is, doing that all the time and being in front of the camera, you'd want to have and feel as amazing as you could. So, it's one of the things that I'm drawn to a lot about your story is in general, but when you came out, was that having the ability to do that, because I know that like nobody knows who I am and the way that I live my life and the way that I've altered my life because of my hair loss, and to have the balls and the courage and the fortitude to go out there and be so bold as to shave your head and say, this is what I've been dealing with. This is what happens to women. And it's just, I literally have chills right now, and they're running down me, and they're legit, because it is like, like wigs off to you, hats off to you, because seriously, you're an inspiration to me. You're an inspiration to so many women out there that reaching a demographic that I could never reach. And so I'm just blown away, and I get like sometimes teary or choked up thinking about it, because, you know, when I was in the depths of my hair loss, when I started the Women's Hair Loss Project, I had reached such a low that I thought about death. I couldn't get off the couch. It was in 2007 I started the site. Life was over for me. There was no more life to be had. My hair was done, curtains, and that was going to be the end of it, you know? So I know the pain that's associated all along, and I can't even imagine having to show up to a job where there's a camera in front of my face and the world knows who I am and people are taking my photo. Like, for you to have gone through this and now be coming out to help women, like, you're seriously my freaking hero. And I say that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much. I mean, in making the decision to do it, to finally shave my head, because I had fantasies. I go back and I look at journal entries where I was like, I fucking shave it. I need to just be done with it. That was back in 2013. So it's something I'd always thought about. But in this time, I didn't think through that I was going to be this beacon of whatever for women. I needed to be set free. This was like, I was done. And so, you know, let me jump to, you know, let me just also add, like, I was going and getting shots in my head. I did spironolactone. I did Propecia. I was on Propecia.
I did Propecia. I did Aldactone. Yep. Same thing.
I mean, I tried everything with the exception of like a hair transplant or in the PRP. Is it called PRP or PCP? PRP.
PRP, yeah.
Okay. PCP is like a drug. Okay. PRP.
Yeah, we didn't do the PCP.
I've never done that. But I did do PRP just recently. I'd never done that before. But basically, I was at the end of my rope. And with this time in particular, my last hair shedding happened because of a crash diet. I was going to do a show in London, and I wanted to lose weight fast. And one thing, my body can lose and gain weight very, very quickly. Hence the gaining weight this last couple of weeks of being in hibernation. I feel like I've gained 10 pounds, but, you know, my body reacts. Like if I go on a, you know, strict thing, if I start exercising and go on so I was on a 500 calorie a day diet. It was actually the HCG diet. Like it's known to actually be really, really a catalyst for women to lose their hair, which I knew full well. I knew full transparency. I'd done the diet before. I took the risk. I was thinking it's not going to happen this time. And cut to 3 months after I started the diet on August 1st. I had this amazing chef, a friend of mine, cooking for me the best quality food, but it's literally 500 calories a day. Every day, no fats in your diet at all. You don't put lotion on your body because you don't want your body absorbing it as fat. Oh. And I lost 20 pounds in like 5 weeks. I mean, so
that's a major rapid weight loss. Yeah.
Yeah. And so 3 months after that, like right around Thanksgiving, I was in London, and my hair, I see handfuls of hair in the shower, you know, and I had this extensions, this hair. It was like basically a hair piece that I was wearing for a period.
I remember because I went with you to get it the first time you got it done.
I'm not a fan of that place at all. They didn't treat me well.
Part
of my process, they did not. But I did meet this woman, this amazing woman, Mari, who's actually a very dear friend, a dear angel friend of mine. And she came up with like what they were doing for me is what they do for trichotillomania for people that your hair like that. Yeah. I don't want to. Maybe I'm wrong about what they offer, but basically, in her opinion, what they were doing for me was actually not helping my situation. It was making it worse. It was pulling out my hair. It was much more.
The other system that you had that I saw you get, that was bad, but this one was
with me. Yes, they were saying she was saying that's too much. It's damaging your hair. You know, so I'm sorry, because it's pulling.
It's pulling on it.
Exactly. And so she basically took me under her wing and basically designed this specific thing for me, which basically was like extensions, but they were extensions that were from the top. So it was like a piece, like the bangs were like partially mine, but then they were fake, or added hair. And that system really worked for me for a number of years. Like for a number of years, it just made it bearable. I always felt like I was fake when I looked in the mirror. I did not like that feeling of like,
did you not feel authentic to yourself? Is that what it was?
Yeah, part of me. I mean, it was just this grappling with trying to make peace of this situation, because I'm someone I consider to be super authentic and real. And I was trying to fake something, I can't explain it. Like, I don't judge people for doing whatever they do that works for them. But for me, it stopped working for me. It stopped feeling like I could pull this off or something. And with this last diet, I feel like I'm not making sense. I hope I'm making sense.
You're actually making total sense.
There's so much to it. But in this last few months in London, I was shedding hair. This hair piece is attached to my hair. As my hair is falling out, it's pulling, because there's less and less hair that's like holding on to.
Right. So there's a certain amount of hair that's onto, and there's less. So it's going to be, you're feeling it more on your scalp. It's tugging more.
Pulling every time I took a shower. It was traumatic. It was painful. Blowing it out. Like, I'd have my friend was with me to blow it out. It hurt. And the more I would blow it dry, the more hair would come out. And I had not seen what my actual hair looked like for 4 or 5 years, because when I'd go to Mari to get my hair done, she would not have mirrors up. So when she would take it off.
Really?
So I never actually saw my scalp. I never,
for 5 years.
For 4 or 5 years. For 4 or 5 years. So
that's heavy.
And so for when I was coming home from London, Mari said, we have to take this off. We have to clean it. Like, we have to make sure your scalp is okay. Like, it's been so long, because I would prolong it, and I was in denial. And so I just, I said, okay. It was around right before Christmas, and she was going to take it off. And I was afraid that I wasn't going to have any hair. And so I reached out to you again. I remember being really, I think, inebriated at the time. And I texted you out of the blue.
It was December. That's why this was so surprising, because it was in December you contacted me. On January 1st, I got the text of the shaved head. I was like, whoosh. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It was actually, because I was at the end of my rope. Like, it's like, you're my lifeline. And I was like, I needed to get a wig. Because I didn't know what was going to be going on with my hair. I was afraid I didn't have enough hair to put on the piece again. Like, I just was so scared. So I said, do you have a wig person that you can recommend? Because the place Falia no longer does that, the place that we've gone to together.
Yeah, their business establishment has shut down, and now they sell them through other people. So I sent you to my girl Sophie. Yeah,
you're one of your best friends. And she was amazing. I mean, in the end, I bought a freaking $5,000 wig that I wore literally for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I have a 5,000. It's in my closet. It was $4,600, and I literally, it's in a bag, and I wore it. Maybe, I don't even think I wore it for 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
But I needed it, because I needed it just in case when she took the hair off, I needed to have something that I could fall back on. And so
100%. Yes. Oh, security. It's security, by the way. Just to comment on your backup security, my shaving the head plan that I've been dreaming of for a long time. And my wigs don't have a lace front. So last year I actually got one that actually hasn't been worn yet, but it's a lace front wig in case on the off chance I shave my head. It's, again, like you, my multi-$1,000 wig. It's just sitting there because it's just in case I shave my head, I have this to use and know that I could be okay if I'm uncomfortable with the way that I look. So yeah, what you did actually makes sense. I mean, you wore it for 20 minutes, but it helped you, I think, to get to the stage. You had the comfort of the wig. You knew that you could use that. So if you were just like, crap, I shaved my head, whoops, you knew you had that to fall back on. So that to me makes like a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I could afford it. So it was what I had to do. And I remember going to see her alone, because you couldn't go with me.
I had a rosacea breakout, and I was like, can you make it the week after? Because I don't want to go in public.
And I couldn't wait. I could not wait. This was not something that could wait. And so I did that. I remember going to see her with my extensions still on. So how do you try on wigs when you're already wearing like literally? So
I didn't think about that either.
So we made a plan on that weekend. I was going to go to Mari's house. She was going to meet me. She was going to bring some options. We were going to take the piece off. My friend Havana was with me. And it was like literally like D-Day, you know. And it was at that time that I ended up finding a wig. I bought the wig. We cut it. It was, you know. And I also I still hadn't seen the top of my head. I still hadn't seen myself without it. And this was like early December, and I still hadn't told my boyfriend.
You hadn't told your boyfriend what? Which part?
My boyfriend, my partner, he, you know, he did not know what I was going through. He did not know.
He did not know the struggle.
He knew not to touch my hair, basically. Okay. And he knew extensions, although he didn't know it for the first couple of months of us dating. He's like, because his housemate said, you know, I said, oh, I have extensions. She said, you have such beautiful hair. I'm like, oh, you know, let me just tell you, half of it's fake. You know, it's I wear extensions. And he looked at me. He was like, it is. I said, yeah. And he said, where? How? And I said, you can feel it. You can feel it. He's like, oh my God, he didn't know. But then through time with our relationship, he knew not to touch my hair. And when we would, you know, take a shower together, I would make sure not to get my hair wet. Like, it's just like things I would do. And he just knew that it was like off limits. And
he didn't know why though. He didn't know that this was all revolving around the hair loss. So this was not known.
He did not know the extent of the suffering that I was going through. And I was embarrassed. I was afraid he would leave me. It was my secret, you know, and I can tell him anything. Like this guy is amazing. And so what happened was basically after I bought the wig and did the whole thing with your friend, Sophie, and I finally came clean to Jeff, and I believe it was December 17th. We were breaking up, like our relationship was about to end. We were gonna take a pause. Like we were definitely going through a transition with our relationship, and it just so happened at the same time I was going through this kind of just transition with me having.
If I can ask, how long were you dating before the moment that you actually were able to open up to him?
I'd say 20 months. I mean, a long time.
I mean, the reason why I ask that is because it's a thing for a lot of women. They're like, a lot of women that are dating somebody. They're like, do I tell them? How do I tell them? What if I tell them they're not going to love me anymore? So I'm curious to know, you just literally had this exact scenario happen to you. So you were dating somebody, you modified it. Like you said, I got extensions, don't touch my hair. You know how to like navigate the shower, you know, and you know, the duck and weave, you know, no pun intended, but
I would brush my hair obsessively because it would always like knot up in the back. Like the extension piece would always get like weird and look it would just look and felt fake. So I would, in the morning after I'd get out of bed, you know, I'd go and I'd brush my hair. I'd have the water on so he wouldn't necessarily hear me.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was
20 months. So 20 months. What's 20 months? So what at the time from the point that you told him to the point that you were trying to take? Well, first of all, when you did tell him, my first question is, did you immediately feel a sense of relief in sharing this with your partner? That's would be my first question.
Shaking. Okay, so this is and I have it on video. We videotaped it because Jeff is so fucking amazing. But he said, you know, because I'm a documentary filmmaker and I make films about things that are that either happen to me or I have some experience, you know, or I care about. And so with this issue, you know, he's like, you may want this. And I remember him like pulling out my phone. He's like, it's on your phone, babe. I'm like, well, what? No, I don't want to be. I'm telling you this. I don't want this documented. He goes, you may want this documented.
It's true. So God bless him, man.
I have me divulging my secret to him. I have me coming to terms with me shaving my head, making the decision to shave my head. And I have me actually shaving my head. I have all of that on video.
That is incredible.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
No, but even just for having it, well, I think it's cathartic that you were able to do it. And it's always there. You don't have to like stare at it and look at it daily. But you have that in case.
I'm looking at it.
No, you look good. You look good. Was that liberating after he pulled his camera out and decided to make it more awkward for you after he pulled his camera out? Did you?
No, then you forget about the camera. I forgot all about the camera, and I was shaking. I remember being so scared of what his reaction would be, and he was like an angel, and he loves me. I mean, that's when someone loves you unconditionally, you know, and that's what we all should have is someone who is just, no matter what, is going to support us. And one thing he did, and he actually, after that, took a shower together, and he washed my hair for me.
Oh my God.
He washed
Oh
my hair.
my
Now, this is the
God.
first time because I had taken the extensions off. So basically, I'll show you. You know,
Oh my God. That is incredible. That's incredible.
Hi, wait. I'm gonna have to move into my bedroom because my son just woke up. Where are you going? Where are you headed?
Hey.
Do you use your real name? Why?
I just use Y.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, glad I didn't out you right now. All right, I'm going in here.
I'm so clandestine. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, here you are. You're on Good Morning America with a shaved head, and I have an initial for my name.
I know. It's so funny. Wait. Okay. I hope this is like not boring for your people.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome.
I think it's such a good story because it's like,
it's like you're also touching on things that you don't realize that people are concerned about, or people write me all the time, the telling of the boyfriend, the dating, the being accepted. And that's why I wanted to know if what you said afterwards was amazing, that he washed your head. And I'm just such a feely person. I'm an over emotional person, but I get chills when I hear that this happened and he did that, and how nurturing that must have felt, and how liberating that must have felt.
How loved,
and the love.
I could not have done what I've done. Like, I could not have had the courage to do what I did and shave my head and be public about it. Like, and I'll talk about that because without Jeff, Jeff was instrumental in supporting me and loving me no matter what, and we weren't necessarily going to stay together. We didn't know what was going to happen with the relationship, but he was going to be there for me no matter what. And that was, I mean, it was, I could not be on the other side of this without his support. So I'm eternally grateful.
Incredible man. Sounds like an incredible person.
Man. He is an incredible man, and I manifested him, and I deserve him.
Yes,
and
you do.
He's a beautiful soul. And I wanted to show you. Wait, if I can find it. I don't know if this will translate, but
we'll make it work. It'll work.
Wait, so after I had the extension, so this is me. Wait, let's see. Let me make it big. And this is me telling him. So I was wearing this thing on my head. Wait, let's see. Hang on. Oh, I think. So,
okay. So this is the video of where you're going to divulge to him
in my kitchen, telling him. So that's me that's my actual hair, and you can't really. So I don't have the audio on.
So you had already taken the piece off. So was this in what month was this in?
This is on December. This is December 23rd.
Well, let me tell you this. When I hear your number, when I hear your dates, you flew by this really quickly. So you in December, because of December, I remember is when you texted me. So I mean, flew by quickly from the top. But I mean, you did a lot in a short period of time, which I mean is you divulged to your significant other what you were going through. You took the piece off your head. You bought a wig as reserve. You shaved your head. Came out on on a national stage, at a platform. So that's what I mean. Not that your journey was short, because it was, I think, 30 years, right? 30 years. So your journey.
Off and on. It would come and it would go. So there were times when it wasn't an issue. I did a movie back in 2005 called Park, and my hair was so healthy and thick during the making of that film. In fact, I had a co-star that was jealous of my amazing hair, and it was a non-issue during that time. I didn't have extensions. I hadn't discovered extensions like permanent, semi-permanent extensions,
the regular ones that people wear, like
2009. Okay. And then I started wearing them, and those pull out your hair, those damage your hair, no matter what people say. Some maybe, I mean, I don't know how the Kardashians get away with it with all their hair. But I study them.
How are they doing it? They need to share that secret. They need to share the secret.
I know it's a lot of people and a lot of money and a lot of really good fake, hair that isn't growing out of their heads. But I don't know how they do it so good. but yeah, so I started, damaging my hair, but wait, I lost my train of thought. I was going to show you.
You were going back, you were sharing the video that you had with Jeff on the counter where you're actually divulging to him.
Yeah. Let me put it on the video, the audio. So you can maybe wait.
I had to get through Christian dying, and now I get to do this in a public way. Oh, goody. Jesus, what do they say? God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. Really?
Yeah. It's incredible.
I mean, really?
Yeah. So this is like me coming to terms,
Oh
and you
my
can see
God.
you know what I'm wearing there is I'm wearing a wig grip.
I was gonna say you look like you're wearing a wig grip.
Yeah, because my hair was so sparse, like right in this area from those extensions that were pulling out that part of my head. So now I'll show you, and no one has seen this. This is me shaving this is like it happening.
Are you ready?
Holy That's my friend Havana, one of my besties.
So I met Havana. Havana's great. So she shaved your head.
I grabbed that's my ponytail. That was my little puny braid.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And then wait, if I zoom in, so you can see how sparse my hair is.
Still here.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So this was progressed for sure from the time that I saw you over the years in the past.
Yeah,
yes.
Here, like, look.
So adorable. There you go.
You're doing it with a smile. You're doing it with a smile.
I was ready.
I mean, you look so beautiful, and oh my God, this is amazing. Unbelievable.
It was the best feeling, honestly. And 2 days before this, I was with Jeff and his family in Phoenix, and we took a hot air balloon ride. And I was honestly thinking, I can't go. I'd made the decision to do it. And I planned to do it on New Year's Eve day for the new decade, the new year. It was going to be like a real statement, And I was like, how the fuck can I get out of this? I'm going to jump out of this hot air balloon. I can jump out of the balloon. I was like processing, like, can I do it? I'm not kidding you.
That's the better option, jumping out of the hot air balloon.
It was definitely an option I was considering. And it was just such a process. And this, I look back on this, it's like, this is, oops, sorry. The window is not showing the shadow, but, no, it was and you can see, like, look at, it's crazy, right?
Were you feeling nervous at this moment? Or were you feeling a wave of freedom coming over you? What were you feeling in that moment right there? What were you feeling?
I felt powerful, and I felt empowered, and I felt resigned, and there was no turning back. And I woke up that day, I'm doing this. Like, the fear was gone. I surrendered, and yeah, something changed in me. I mean, I really am a different person, being on the other side of this. I've never been prouder. I've never been more like pleased with my my ability to overcome this, and to make peace with it. I mean, I'm telling you, every birthday for 20 something years, when I blow out my candles, I would hope, pray, and wish to be at peace with this.
Yes.
That was my wish.
Yes.
I would imagine you may be able to relate to that.
Yes,
it's like
100%. Yeah.
And I just wanted to be at peace.
Your shaving of the head, like I said, had a profound impact on me on my own level, because it's just been forever since going back to, I don't know how long, over a decade, that I kept thinking that before I wore wigs, that shaving my head would just be taking control back. I took control back in the ways that I was able to do after an extended amount of time dealing with hair loss. I finally was able to cut most of my hair off into a super short haircut, where it's basically shaved at the nape, longer in the front. I made peace with wearing wigs, and okay, that's a good option. But I do PRP, okay, so I can try to keep some hair on my head so I can integrate it with my wigs. But I still feel a little bit on a hamster wheel, and I'm still confronted emotionally with the issues. And whether, I don't know if people know that about me or not, that are, for people that are dealing with hair loss, not just, I can look okay in a wig, great, but my hair, as long as it's still on my head, is still going to fall out of my head. And so when I shower and my hair is at the length that it's at, which is pretty short, and it's sliding down my body, I am wanting to cry at times. I'm like, You got to be fucking kidding me. 21 years of hair loss. I've made peace with wearing wigs. I've cut most of my hair off. I've done this. I've done that. And still I'm having this reaction like, when does it end? And so your particular story on many levels hit home to me, because it's just like, for the love of God, I just want to be done with this hamster wheel.
I hear you.
The hamster wheel of emotions. The hamster wheel of emotions. It's not just about like, yeah, you can put on a wig, and yes, I'm glad I have the option, but I haven't escaped. I call it kind of like PTSD of hair loss, because when my hair is the length that it is, and I'm still doing PRP, and I'm finding it to be less efficacious, and it's still falling
so much. By the way, that it hurts so much. I couldn't believe, and I've had the shots in my head where whatever they would do years ago, and that was not nearly as bad. This was so invasive for me. And, yeah. And I also wanted to say, there was something I was going to say about, on that day, like and the reason I chose to come out, like because I'm a public figure, because I'm really about being authentic and keeping it real, I didn't come out with it to help anyone. Like I was just thinking about being authentic, and I wrote that piece by myself. What I wrote on Facebook, and Instagram, I wrote myself. Like I don't pride myself on being a good writer. I actually have a lot of insecurity about my writing. And Jeff is a really good writer, but we didn't spend that night together on New Year's Eve. And I woke up on January 1st. And my friend, I had a beautiful, amazing photographer friend of mine, Amanda Demi. She's an incredible artist. And she, when I made the decision in Phoenix with Jeff to shave my head on this day, I called up Amanda and said, will you document it? Will you photograph it? And she took those beautiful pictures of me. And I was like, so happy to be able to be in control of this, because you took the power back.
You took power back. And that's the big thing about every step. You went you've made it to where I consider it to be the holy grail, shaving your head. And there's a lot of steps before that women have to go through. They just have to, it's a process. You try to treat your hair, the accepting, the grieving, the dealing, for women, some women are able to wear hair, or they wear hair. Some women will never want to wear a wig. They can't wear a wig. There's this whole gamut of things that you have to go through to get to where you got. And in your case, for women that think that they're not getting there fast enough, it took 30 years. It took 30 years for you. And I'm putting that out there, because women are like, I can't believe that. How come I can't just be like you? They're me, right? And be like, oh, I'm wearing a wig. No, there's some behind the scenes here. I'm 21 years into hair loss, and I didn't begin the acceptance process until 2012 when I started wearing hair. So, and I'm still feeling like I'm on that hamster wheel. I'm still looking at you. I'm still like the shaved head. I mean, I've talked about it with Sophie, by the way, because I'm like, how would I do this? Okay, I want to shave my head, and at least just shave it for once, to know that I had the power to do that, to take that away from hair loss, And I feel like you did that. Like, you're my hero. You're my hero, and you're a lot of other women's and men, by the way. You're their hero too.
Well, Jeff was amazing. I remember being in Phoenix with him. He's like, babe, pull your hair back, and I had like this puny hair, and he's like, it's going to look good. He's like, you've got a good head for it. You've got a good face for it. And he's like, I promise. And I was like, oh my God, because it could have gone another way. It could have been a disaster. It could have been like me. What the fuck did I do? And thankfully I prefer, I feel like I'm more me than I've ever been. And I like that it's like silver on the side. This is my natural color. I've been coloring my hair since my early 20s. I started going gray really like after I had children. So 28, and I was having to do it every 2 weeks, and it would burn sometimes on my scalp. My scalp is super sensitive, and to not have to deal with it, to actually really think it looks kind of cool. Like now
it looks great on you. You look good with it. You looked good. It's actually growing a little bit more now, but you looked good when it was just freshly the buzz that your photographer friend took, It is amazing. It's like, it's beauty. It's pure beauty. It's like you're inside, you're definitely one of the most beautiful people I know, inside and out. And it shows, So,
this is what freedom looks like. This is what, even though we're all
freedom looks like.
This is what freedom, and this is what, like to me, like to redefine what is beauty, to me, and I've had to really soul search, like I would emulate these these women, you know, on TV and in magazines, and you know they've done whatever they've done to like enhance, you know, or surgically or whatever. And to me, like courage and vulnerability and authenticity, I mean, that is what's beautiful. And you know, I'm really just, I'm proud of myself. It was the scariest thing I've ever done. And I've done scary things. I've had my baby in my bathtub on my own. You know,
and by the way, you're saying that this was the scariest thing. You just said you had your baby in your bathtub, and this is the scariest thing.
Oh, that was not scary. I mean, that was not scary to me. That's scary to some, but you know, like I'm someone who like takes risks. I'm someone that likes to push myself, and you know, but in this way, like this was just a personal release and surrendering. Like I had no other choice. Honestly, I felt like I had no choice. And now that I'm on the other side, it's a non-issue. It's a non-issue. And now in this, like if I had that hairpiece, God bless Mari, the woman who made it for me and would get the hair source for me from the Philippines. And it worked for me for many, many years. But if I had that thing on my head, she's stuck in Manila right now in the Philippines. And I have to get that thing adjusted and tightened every 10 to 12 days. Otherwise it would flop, you know, it would be flopping like a toupee. You know, if I was in that state, I would be shaving my head on a totally different set of circumstances.
Out of pure necessity of the moment. But you did it on your time, and you did it the way that you want it, and you did it surrounded by the people who love you. And then you had the balls to put it on TV.
I went to Good Morning America. Then, you know, I had a friend, my friend. Yeah, Brian, my very, very dear and wise friend, he said, look, he's like, if you're going to do this, you need to strategize. And I'm like, well, no, it's not a PR stunt. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this to promote myself I'm doing this for me. And he's like, but you need to control the narrative. And I was scared. I was truly scared that people were going to make fun of me. I thought people were going to say I look ugly. I thought there was going to be really mean, you know, I just didn't understand. I didn't know. And he said, I suggest you do one outlet. And I want to do Good Morning America. I love Good Morning America. And he's like, and I would do it only with Robin Roberts. And I said, done. Cause she's a cancer survivor. She's you know. And so he arranged it. They flew me in, you know, I did it and then came back home, and I never expected the impact. You know, it got 6 billion impressions. Like I didn't understand what any of that meant. Like literally, let me show you this thing.
Oh my God.
It's like, cause I did one Instagram post, one Facebook post, and that one interview. And that was it. I didn't do anything else. You're like the second interview I'm doing about this.
Oh my God.
But I'm going to see if I can find it. Wait here. They did like a media report. I don't even know if I should show you this, but it's like, she did this. They do this like the actual media report of like how much, like where it went, like where people picked it up. Mm-hmm. And this is it. It's out of control. Wait, I have to open it. It takes forever to open, but like, wait, let's see. Hang on.
So it's
not opening. It's loading. But this is each outlet. So whether it's like CBS or
I think it's loading. I think it's loading. Oh, it's coming into focus a little closer.
Yeah. Wait, how do I do this here? Oh, it's not working. Wait. Oh my God, I'm not good at this. There. Wait. Oh, maybe.
It's getting closer. Okay. Okay.
So these are all.
So it's a report that shows you the impressions per media outlet.
Every article, everything that, and so it just goes on and wait.
Oh wow.
Anyway, it was 6 billion impressions. Like everyone was writing about this. I mean, GMA ended up doing like 4 days of stories on this issue because what I did sparked this dialogue because no one had ever talked about it before. No woman had ever come forward.
Oh my God. You just nailed something I'm going to lose. I have to tell you that when I was losing my hair, I wanted nothing more. Going back 1999 as someone suffering with hair loss, I felt like I was the only woman that was dealing with this on the planet. And which is why I started my site in 2007. It was just a blog of me typing to nobody. It was just writing and putting it out there. But all I wanted was to be able to look to another person. I wanted, in our culture, we look to celebrities. We look to celebrities and people in the public eye. And so I wanted to be able to look and say, she did it. She survived it. Again, I have this chills happening to me. I want to say she was able to accomplish it. I can get through this too. And I didn't have that in my life for, where, you just did it now. You are the first person to my knowledge that came out and did this. And I'm thinking about everybody that's going to come after, all the women that are going to be like me.
Ayanna Pressley, the congresswoman, came out and showed her, bald alopecia
and it's
head.
just like, it's destigmatizing it, and to destigmatize hair loss, and for powerful women in the public eye to have that courage. Because like I said, I'm, nobody knows who I am. And I'm, like I said, I'm an initial. I don't even use my name. And all I wanted was to be able to point to a celebrity and say, she did it. I could get through it too. And I didn't have that. So I think that I actually, believe it or not, would have had less suffering, and I would have moved on a lot faster if I had heard the story of somebody like you. I had known that you had gone through this. I had known that you had come out through the other side. And I had known that in the worst case scenario, maybe I could be like Ricki Lake. Maybe I could shave my head. Maybe I could have the power to do that too. And going back to my 21-year-old self dealing with hair loss and crying and thinking that the world is going to end at that time for me, that would have meant everything. So every time I think about what you did, and I made a video and I posted it on Instagram, whatever, when I think about what you did, it sends chills down my spine, because you have changed lives, like beyond so many lives from that already now, and the women that are going to come after us. The women that are going to come after us are going to be dealing with hair loss. No, you didn't want to be the poster child of the lady, the person that had hair loss. That was not, we don't wake up and be like, what I want to do when I grow up is, I'm going to be a talk show host and I'm going to be the poster child, right? For women with hair loss.
None of those were premeditated.
Right. Okay. So, but there you are. And now, like, I think about everybody that is going to have, and I'm not making use of hyperbole, less suffering because of your selfless action to do that for other people. I know you did it for yourself, but you putting it out there, and I know it's being authentic in what you had to do. The impact, the far-reaching impact that this is going to have, and that I know it already has had. And I know that when you posted about my thing on your Instagram, the people that contacted me through that with their stories, there is not a number I can touch on, because it's going to be continual. It's continual of the people dealing now. And it's the person that's going to wake up tomorrow dealing with hair loss for the very first time. And they're going to find whoever they find online, but they're going to find your story. And they're going to know that, this is 30 years of hair loss, working in an entertainment business, suffering in silence, secretly, living, doing my own thing, not being able to tell my significant other, doing this. And at the end of this, I was able to get through this. You have massively changed people's lives in ways that I'm sure you know or do not know. And you have definitely positively impacted my life and inspired me tremendously.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. And I have to say, you have been instrumental in helping me through this process. I can't thank you enough. And that's why I kept saying to you, I'm going to give you a shout out. You deserve more than a shout out, because you really have provided a safe space for women like me to find others who are going through this as well. It's just so taboo. I mean, I can't tell you, like, I have an aversion of like seeing those blowout bars, the blowout.
Yeah. Blowout bars. What's that about? Yeah. I don't have the benefit of knowing that experiencing one of those luxuries.
Me neither. It's like you feel so alone. You feel like it's only happening to you. And so you have truly, I mean, not only your site and watching videos. I watched a lot of videos through your site of women shaving their heads. I remember one woman, I think she was a teacher in Florida. I would love to reach out to her. She had dark hair and she was really attractive and young. She was like in her, I'd say, late 20s. This was many years ago, and her boyfriend was there holding her hand, and they all rallied. And
I actually think I know who you're talking. I may know who you're talking about.
She really, I always thought of her through the years, and this was like in 2013. I found her on your site, so I would watch videos of women shaving their head and taking their power back. Yeah. And then also you holding my hand and literally going with me while to shop for a wig, to go to that place, that I went, that we won't mention, but honestly, I am so grateful to you. And so, yeah, this is I wanted to to offer this to you, to tell my story. I know it's very like convoluted and long, and there's so many different, intricacies in what I've experienced, but to be a source of hope for people, for women out there struggling. I mean, I'm so much happier to be on the other side of this, and it's not to say my hair may fall out again, who knows? I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to keep shaving it or, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't rule my life.
But you already know, you already went to the end and know that you can do it. So you can grow out your hair more now, and you can go and proceed as you would want to, but you already know that you have the ability and capability to do what for someone like me is still the impossible. You can shave your head. You can take back that control today, tomorrow, next week, or when you decide to take control.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Hair loss isn't dictating that anymore for you.
Not at all. And showering now is like where I used to dread it. I used to be like, oh, because working out, you'd sweat and you'd have to shower, but I didn't want to get my hair wet. And now it's a non-issue. So it's just, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm just like, living through these times of just so much uncertainty. And so, this is not added to the list of my stresses right now. This is just,
that's a blessing.
Yeah. But I want to say thank you to you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you to you for coming on and being on my podcast. It's like such an honor. You have no idea. It's like, oh my God. I'm so appreciative. I'm so appreciative I've had the opportunity to talk to you. It means the world.
Keep your site going. Keep your forum going. Honestly, I know it's antiquated. It's been, dormant a little bit, but I do think it's really important that women have, now with you having this podcast, I think it's great. I think it's really, really great just, to help our sisters through this, because
I'm actually, you're so freaking right. It is antiquated. And so I'm trying to work with somebody to update it and get that moving again, because there's still, what happens is life happens, life happens, I did that so long, life happens, Yeah.
I want to tell you what I'm doing for my hair. That's really, really helping me. I want to give a shout out. It's called, oh God, it's hard to say. It's called Harclinic. It's a product. It's like a topical product.
Is it, you have to go to
Harclinican. It's out of Copenhagen, and the guy's name is Lars. And I found him indirectly. I mean, it's one of these weird things through my agent. And it's a product. It's a shampoo line, and it's a topical that they do custom made for people, and particularly women. They have a website. They don't advertise. I mean, because I was like, literally, I was like, so dude. And for my agent contacted me, and I thought, oh, it's someone wanting me to do an endorsement with them. Like, I didn't even know it was a hair product. I went and met him. He's because he lives in Copenhagen. He was in LA, and he looked at my scalp, and he and his colleague, said I'd be a really good candidate for their product, and they want to help me because I've helped so many women. Literally, they're giving it to me for free, but they're not asking me to do anything about to support them. I mean, literally, they've asked.
What is it called? What is it called?
It's called Harclinican. Harclinican. HARKLINIKKEN. It's like a shampoo line and a topical that they do custom. And basically, you have to be a good candidate. So for me, I have, and I think you have the same thing. It's diffuse thinning.
Yeah.
So
it's diffuse thinning. Yeah.
Right. So basically, the follicles are getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And he showed me under like not a microscope, but something like that. And so I could see there are certain hairs that are healthier and certain hairs that are super thin. So this just gets your scalp into the optimum, healthiest state so that the hair follicles can regrow healthier. And it's working. Like if you saw me, I showed you images of what I looked like when I shaved my head.
So you did two things. So you did the PRP, which you said hurt like crazy. So you did the PRP. You did it twice. And then you did this product for the last, how many weeks?
It's been like 6 weeks. And it's just a topical you put on at night. It's no big deal. There's no scent to it. There's no mess. I'm telling you,
I'm feeling like, because I feel like, when you shave, a person shaves their head, it's actually you'll actually see the shorter it's going to be the denser look. So when you had your head shaved and you saw more thinning, you could see that you actually have improvement in the growth. I don't know if that makes sense because, it looks like you have improvement.
100% improvement. And he said it's only going to get better because it's
Yeah.
like, it takes like 4 months. He's going to take more pictures, you know, but it's dramatic. And I think
mean,
it's
that's
also,
like, that's, yeah.
what were you going to say?
I was like, that. No, I mean, like I said, there's whatever between the two things that you've done from the date of January that you shaved your head, there is an appreciable result that is occurring on your scalp.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And, you know, I'm not planning to do the PRP again. I don't think I don't know. I'm not planning to do, I don't want to plan ahead. I'm not going to say, you know, who knows? All I can say is it's healthier than it's been in a really, really long time. And I'm grateful, and he's a lovely man. This man who started this, his story is lovely. You should really look into him because
when I hang up, I'm going to actually Google it because I'm curious to know like what it is that's in there, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and a lot of celebrities, a lot of very, very high profile celebrities are not that matters, but like they're using his product and they don't necessarily have hair loss, but it's to make their hair as healthy as possible because all of their hair has been damaged by extensions and all of that. So it's like, it's really, I'm into it. And I don't get paid to say that, you know? So,
right.
And it's super, super easy. And, yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. And, you know, yeah.
Well, you look incredible.
Thank you. This is 51, man. This is 51 and a half. And I'm
51 and a half is looking good.
I'm going to self-isolate. I'm going to, you know, I'm just like, I have so much gratitude and so much gratitude for you. Thank you. I almost said gratitude for you too. Why? Thank you. Why? Oh my gosh. One of these days, when this all blows over, we'll get together. We're going to have a cocktail and have a hug. Okay.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story and those personal videos that you had with your lovely, lovely boyfriend. And it was amazing to see. Your journey has been amazing to watch. And this year particularly was just jaw-dropping for me. So
yeah, well, stay strong and healthy.
You too.
And I will see you very soon. And I hope this talk inspires others. So, and let me know if you ever want to shave your head. I'll hold your hand.
All right. Well, what if I gave you the shaver and you shave it?
Fuck yeah, let's do it. I have enough experience, you know.
I mean, you've already done it. You already have experience with clippers, you know. So
exactly. I'm going to order my own. I think I don't have my own. I'm going to order them. But anyway, sending you so much love.
Love to you as well. So we'll talk to you soon.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching the video cast of my podcast, but this is a podcast, so of course it can be found on iTunes and Spotify, and you can also find me on Instagram at WHLP Network. I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy, and I'm sending my love to all.